Now, I asked for our next guest because he was inside the White House shortly after all hell broke loose about Donald Trump being very angry with the appointment of Robert Mueller. You know this guy, pop him on up. Anthony Scaramucci was the White House Director of Communications for about 35 seconds, actually from July 21st to July 31st. But in those 10 days, Scaramucci had an amazing impact on the country. But I want to talk about, we'll get to the wider view in a moment. When you walked in on July 21st, was the Mueller thing buzzing in the White House?
Well, first off, happy Easter, Bill. And I've told my therapist it's 954,000 seconds. It makes me feel better at times. But the first conversation I had was actually on Thursday, July 20th, in the study off of the Oval Office with the president and Ivanka, where they were frustrated that there was a special counsel. They were kind of getting me a prize of that situation, but they were also super frustrated that there was a tremendous amount of leaking going on inside the White House. And so the president, I had worked with him, and you may recall this, for 9 months on the campaign, 12 weeks as one of the executives on his transition committee, and obviously the 11 days in the White House. And so I knew that there was no collusion. I said that on the air. I asked CNN to replay the clip of me saying there was no collusion if I was proven to be correct. I'm still waiting for my guest appearance to show up there. But at that moment, there was a tremendous amount of tension, and there was a feeling inside the White House that a mistake was made by firing James Comey. I think the president now looks back on that and said that he made the right decision to fire Director Comey, but I think thinking, okay, that was the domino that tripped into the other domino. One other piece of information for your viewers and listeners, I am in very close relationship with Rod Rosenstein. I went to law school with Rod Rosenstein, and since he's letter R and I'm letter S, we sat together in the same section in the same row, and I had a very good relationship with him. And I told the president that Rod is a straight shooting Boy Scout. The president about 18 months to come to that conclusion because of all of the stuff going on in the media and people talking and so forth. But Rod played this thing very straight. I saw Rod at my 30th law school reunion 2 weeks ago, and I think I'm very proud of him. And I'm also proud of William Barr. And I would tell anybody, these are rule of law types of people, Bill. They're not going to carry the president's water. So you can have 8 people at the CNN, Last Supper event of anti-Trumpers all sitting there hating on Trump and wanting to disbar William Barr. But at the end of the day, he's a rule of law kind of guy, 45 years in Washington. He's not going to give up his reputation to carry the president's water.
No, and he made sense. What he said did not contradict the Mueller report from what I've seen. Now, I mentioned that you, in your reunion, were up there with all the pinheads at Harvard. I can't mock you because, not unfortunately, I did. But you and it was Rosenstein then, it's Rosenstein now. It's kind of like young Frankenstein. But I never had a problem with Rosenstein ever. Not because you were sticking up for him, but because I thought the way that you did. So Rosenstein is in a kill zone here, okay? Because if he does anything untoward, it's going to come out. And just
25 years.
Just like the FBI, Comey and McCabe, those guys are in serious trouble now. And my words will be borne out. They are in serious trouble when this Michael Horowitz report, the Inspector General of the Department of Justice, comes out. Maybe they won't get charged. It could be this, maybe it didn't rise enough, but they're in trouble. So Trump, and he's crazed about Mueller. He fires Comey. Rosenstein backs him on that play. As you know, Rosenstein wrote a letter criticizing Comey, backs him on the play.
They were not friends.
From what I saw in the Mueller report, the Comey thing was secondary to the McGahn thing. And so my next question is, did you know Don McGahn? Did you see that there was tension between him and President Trump about Mueller?
Yeah, well, I knew Don McGahn on the campaign, and I'd gotten to know him a little bit in the White House, but I also respected him. And I think Don's legacy is going to be a couple of things. One, he helped the president get all those judges appointed, including the 2 Supreme Court guys. And number two, I think Don McGahn gave the president very good advice. He said, let this thing play out. And of course, the president was concerned because he's a business person. Remember, that was only 6 months into his presidency, and he's seen what goes on in Washington. And so he was a little worried that they were going to politically manipulate the situation. And so I applaud Don McGahn. I don't know him super well, Bill, so I'm not a guy to make things up. But I applaud him in this instance where he told the president, and he gave him very, very good advice. And thankfully, the president stuck to that advice.
Yeah, he took it. Because if he didn't take it, he would be impeached right now.
He'd be in trouble. But
I want to advance the story a little bit. I want to advance it a little bit. Okay, so you have a president who doesn't like to be criticized at all, ever. And when he is criticized, and when you read my book, The United States of Trump, you'll see this goes back to when he's 3 years old. Okay, he lashes out, and sometimes that clouds his thinking. All right, so Donald Trump's thinking is clouded sometimes when he's lashing out at people who have insulted him or done something that he feels is wrong. How much, in your opinion, as the former communications director, did the relentless, and that is Barr's word, relentless, all right, negative reporting by the media on President Trump, how much did that affect Donald Trump?
Look, it absolutely affected him, and it spurred all of that righteous indignation, which his detractors are now trying to call obstruction. And I think what I was going to say, and I think I want you to think about this, Bill. Mueller is a lot like Justice Roberts, and let me explain why. Justice Roberts looked at the Obamacare situation, said Obama got elected, he pushed this legislation, and we're going to treat it as a tax, and we're going to let it stick. And I think Robert Mueller treated the president with great respect and the office of the presidency, and so he gave the president the benefit of the doubt. If you read the written stuff, the commentary on the president's written questions that he submitted back to Mueller, they thought they were insubstantial. Mueller gave him the benefit of the doubt. Mueller gave him the benefit of the doubt when he said, here are 10 times where you came across the line or were at the line of obstruction, but there was really no crime here, and we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt because of all the pressure on you.
It's almost like Hillary Clinton. It's almost the same thing. That they came out and they said, yeah, she did it, but it doesn't rise. But you know why? Do you know why Mueller didn't make a bigger deal out of Trump not showing up for a personal interview? There's two reasons why. Number one, he had McGahn already. Yeah. And he believed McGahn. And that's what he wanted from Trump. He had it. He knew what happened. And number two, the perjury trap. No president would ever put himself in that position where he had a faulty memory or he didn't do this or he didn't do that. No chief executive would ever do it. And Mueller knew that. Mueller knew that he was on the wrong side of that argument and that he would probably lose if it were litigated. So anyway, I just want to bring that out. Final question for you.
Yes, sir.
Going forward, my belief is the American people have had it with this. They've had enough. Tonight will be big ratings for the news agencies, but tomorrow's Good Friday, Passover, Easter, and next week, the far left media will try to keep it alive. Nadler and his crew in the House will try to keep it alive. But I think the folks have just said enough. You agree with that?
Oh, I billion% agree with it. That's what caused the rating slide for people after the 4-page document came out. Now that this has been more full-blown, they can rail all they want and complain all they want. But I think the Democrats are going to switch strategies, and I think they're going to take Nancy Pelosi's strategy, which is, okay, there was no grounds for impeachment. Let's play on the facts here. Let's try to beat him in the ballot, in the election in 2020. But Bill, one other quick point. I think it's very important for your listeners. At the end of the day, the president's legal team, someone's going to write this 50 years from now, gave him very good advice and kept guardrails on him despite that righteous accusation, despite that criticism reversal that he likes to give people, as you're describing in your book. And I think that legal team, there's going to be a case study somewhere at a law school that describes what that legal team did and how critical people were of that legal team while it was happening. But in the end of the day, the final analysis they did a very good job for the president.
All right, you're killing me with the end of the day business, Anthony. You got to get that out of your repertoire. But are you including?
All right.
Are you including Rudy Giuliani in that?
I am. I'm going to explain to you why. I have a theory on that. The president saw Mayor Giuliani as a heat shield. Anytime Giuliani was out there saying cuckoo la la things or diversionary things, he was taking pressure off the president, and the media attention was on Rudy and some of the erraticisms of what he was saying. Now, a lot of people say, well, that wasn't planned and that was all impromptu and possible Tourette's syndrome. I don't believe that. I think a lot of that stuff was premeditated, Bill, and I think the president knows that, and that's why the president let him go with that. And I think you'll see that was part of the strategy.
All right, Anthony. Always interesting. Anthony and I live nearby on Long Island, and the town doesn't know what to do with us.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. I hope you become a regular on BillO'Reilly.com, and your insight is very good. All right. Happy Easter
I'm a
to
huge
you.
fan.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Anthony. Thank you.